It's lovely to have the two of you here today. Now, there should be four of you, but
Yes.
unfortunately, one of you definitely, Shade definitely can't join us. We're
Yeah.
not sure if Joke is going to join us. She's hoping to, at least pop in during
Yes.
the hour. But since she can't join us, or rather, since Shade definitely is not going to join us, we thought we'll bring another person who is friends to both of them. So I'm going to invite Wanu to join us. Let's see, where is she? Wanu to join us. So interestingly, they both have Wanu is friends with Tinuke, and they have their own thing, and then she's friends with Dele, and they have their own team too. So interesting.
We
I
have all these
was,
teams of girl friendships.
yes, I
Yes.
know.
Yes.
Wanu, is your camera going to be off? Are you out and about or what?
My camera should. Can you hear me?
We can
We
hear
can hear
you.
you. We can hear you,
Oh,
but we can't see
I
you.
see you. Why can't you see me? My camera is doing terrible things.
Wanu said they just called you the adopted
Yeah.
one.
Yes, she's there. We adopted her. Yes.
About, but I'm so honored. Oh my god,
Adopted one, welcome. Welcome. Lovely to have you here with us.
the adopted one for the dream team, guys.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't know,
Please,
the dream team, then who are you? Who are you? And now I'm part of them. Who am
please, Dream Team, you guys definitely need to officially adopt her.
We
Okay.
have adopted her, but she's just not allowed on every platform.
That's okay.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
actually okay with even just adopting by name. I've just wanted to be inside for so long that this adoption is great.
Oh my goodness. Well, lovely to have the three of you here today. One,
Thanks
I
for
love your head thing.
yes.
It's
Oh,
lovely.
thank you
It's
so much.
lovely. Okay, let's get started. Now, this question that I have for you. Okay, because you're adopted, so one you probably be able to answer answer the question. So if I know the team, the group or the friendship group is called the Dream Team, right?
Yes.
But if you had a WhatsApp group name, forget about it being Dream Team. Now, based on your personalities, based on your history together, what would it be called and why? So let me give an example. So let's say you're all CEOs and all of that. It could be CEO Moms on a Mission or something like that. So what name would you call the WhatsApp group?
Sorry,
Living
can
the
I? You're addressing Wanu with this,
yes.
but what WhatsApp group? Oh, are you
Oh,
okay? Who's other?
down the wrong part.
It's
Just
gone
the
down the wrong way.
wrong part. Yeah.
Are you okay? You okay?
Yes, yes, yes.
Sorry. Breathe.
Thank you. Okay. So if your friendship group had a name, a WhatsApp group name, based on your personalities, your histories, and everything, what name
So
will it
sorry,
be?
sorry. The friendship of the three of us here, is that what you're talking
Yes,
about?
the three of you.
Oh,
You
okay.
just as imagine you're the Dream Team, but your name is
Okay.
not the Dream Team. So if you had
Okay.
that, what will it be called?
Living our best lives. I think that's what
Living our best lives. Okay. Do you
lives.
guys agree?
Or intentionally try to do that. Zaz will probably add rocking your own gorgeous somewhere in there. So I think living our best life, but really loving who we are at the same time.
Aging troublemakers.
Power squad.
Yeah.
Troublemakers. Guess who that is. Guess who that is.
What about Power Squad?
I like Power
Power
Squad.
squad.
I like
Aging.
Power
Aging
Squad.
troublemakers. Oh my god.
That person needs
I like Power Squad. Okay, so which name have you guys agreed on?
Please, I like this. Gorgeous, glowing, godly girls. Thank you,
wow,
favored
I like that one.
Women that won't come
GGG.
bearer.
I can see the logo.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that. GGG. Please. Somebody needs to write that down before so we remember it. Write it down.
GGG. Dele, write
Don't
it
worry, I'm
down.
writing it down.
GGG.
Have you got a pen?
GGG.
Gorgeous, glowing, godly
Oh,
girls.
the fourth. The 4G.
The 4Gs. Or the, yeah.
4G.
The four
G4.
G's.
Hmm.
G4.
G4. There's
Sounds like
already a group called G4, isn't there?
G4
A singing group. Is there?
4G. Oh,
Yeah, they're
really? A
like
singing group called
like
G4.
an
Okay.
opera, opera type group. Obviously, you
Okay.
all don't listen to opera. It's all right. Never mind. Did you know Tinuke? Did I know
Okay, what
what?
about
You know
the
about the
so are
Tinuke?
you guys going with the gorgeous glowing godly
Godly
girls?
girl.
Fantastic. Okay. Second thing before we get started, if your friendship group had a theme song, what will it be? Or soundtrack? What will it be?
Ay, ay, ay. I've got friends. What's that song?
No, you can't use that. I used that.
No,
You can't
no,
use that
no,
for the
no. We
post.
can't use that one. It has.
I've already used that for the post, so you can't use
Did
that.
you? Oh,
That's
I
what
need to friends are for. If you want to use a friends one, that's what friends are for. But
That's what friends are for. Okay.
yeah.
Okay. That's the one you're gonna go for.
I don't know. I was just suggesting. I
okay.
don't know
And
whether the ladies agree.
well,
It
you're not quite sure about that. I don't know any. I think people run the world, but not godly.
Who,
Ah,
Say that
yeah.
again.
who runs the
What did you
world?
say?
Actually,
Okay. Okay.
we,
So is that the one you guys are going for?
one thing that I've got in my head, but I can't quite get the tune. It doesn't go with the
Okay,
godly.
someone's suggesting we are family.
Mm,
Sister Sledge. It's not
Well, they're not
century.
sure they're family, really.
yeah.
That's what we're going to find out if they're really family. So that's why they hesitated. So we're going to find out if they're really family
Maybe we'll answer the question at the end. Maybe like that. And then
at
we'll
the
see
end.
what.
Okay.
Always, there's always friends. What's that song? I don't know that one.
Oh, that's
Which one?
CC Winans. I think it's a nice one. I like that one. Yeah.
Always sisters. Always sisters. Always friends. Yes, I know that
Yeah.
one.
Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm done.
I know
Okay.
that one. Okay.
We can go
Well,
with that.
this is
Yeah.
going to be an interesting conversation. So now that we had the fun bit, let's start to go deeper. So, how did you all meet? Oh,
Hmm.
actually, before that, sorry, because of those who don't really know you, some people might be on and they don't know you. Can you quickly just introduce yourselves and tell us what you do? Not 30 seconds. Dele, you first.
Dele Bironke. I'm a teacher. I love talking about my job. I love what I do, and I've got stories to go forever about my job. But yes, that's what I do, and I've got two lovely daughters. Yes.
Thank you very much. Tinuke.
Tineke Akimbulamo, content creator, 4 lovely children, no, adults. Okay, 2 children, 2 adults. And yeah, I love what I do. I love my life. I love life. Oh my God, I love myself.
That's more than 30 seconds. The adopted one.
No, it was not. I was actually timing you. You're actually being biased. But I'm not leaving because Lola has accused me of Trumpian behavior. That's why I said I'm going to leave too many times. So I'm not leaving. I'm staying here. You can't get rid of me.
Wondering your
Lola
lawyer.
just Lola just waiting to take your place. So
I can only adopt one person, please. No one else can be adopted. Sorry, Lola. So, yeah, so I'm wondering your lawyer. I am a communicator. I work in PR. I have 3 kids who keep humbling me every day. Trying to live my best life.
trying to live my best life. Trying to live my best life.
It's not a song, but you're making it up.
I'm making it up.
Making it up, my one is dancing to it.
Okay. So yes. How did you all meet and what was the initial connection that brought you guys together? Anyone can answer.
I was thinking about that. Tinuke, I think I can't remember, I can't really pinpoint when we actually met, but I think it was through the
Like
marriage
nuts.
ministry.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
through
was
Tight
tight
Knots.
nuts. Yeah.
Yeah, Tight Knots that brought us together. And for Wanu, it was we met just before we got married. And it was through then Jesus House had a thriving youth ministry, and we're all involved in that. Yeah, I And forgot. I think that's what,
Oh yeah.
I thought we
That's
met
where we
through
met.
ministry as well. But no, you may be right. You may actually
No,
be right.
no.
We met through that. We met before the before marriage ministry. We met through the youth thing, and then because we went on a few retreats, and then we started praying together because we got married the same year, and we had a little group where we prayed together for all our weddings and marriages, and yeah, so that's how I met one.
Okay, interesting. can you guys describe a defining moment
Wait,
when you
wait,
guys
wait. Don't you want to know how I met? Can you see what I'm saying? There is a definite bias going on here.
Oh, sorry,
Definite.
I didn't.
Definite. Wow.
Oh, sorry, Tinika, I
You
forgot.
can't even
I
hide
thought you
it.
had spoken. Sorry. You know, because you're
Mhm.
always talking now. So I just assumed Tinika
Oh,
had
no,
said.
even one who didn't speak, oh, to be fair, it was only Dele that spoke. One, please, can you tell them
Oh,
how we
okay,
met?
sorry, sorry,
Since Dele
sorry.
has done the rest.
So,
Okay,
so,
sorry.
so I walked into the Jesus House office as an intern. Oh gosh, I can't remember. How old is Jojo? 13.
13,
14.
14.
So 14 years ago now, and I met this amazing lady who was heavily pregnant. And I stupidly assumed it was her first child. So I was giving her advice because I had two children, but then I was like, oh my God, and then she was like, oh, this is my fourth. And I think I passed out, basically. So I was like, how do you willingly have four children? So for me, she was like a unicorn because I did not understand how she would willingly have four. And then what more? I genuinely thought there was something wrong with her. But then we started talking. We realized we had a lot of things in common. She's just the kindest, most
Okay,
helpful
okay.
person
All right,
to
so
me.
that's how we met in Jesus House
I
Church
did
office.
not ask you to. I did not ask for her qualities.
Plus, I'm not talking about how kind she is or nice. If I say nice now, she will object. But yeah, okay, go ahead.
Okay, speak now, beautiful one.
No. I finished. I just wanted to stop her before she went into qualities. That was all. I'm done. So you now know how we all met.
Okay. Do you have anything to say?
No, I met Dele through the Titanus ministry and I met Wanu in the church office. That's what I would have
Okay.
said had you come to me first. I wouldn't have done all the flowery bits around it, but they
That's
did.
okay, because we need the
Right.
flowers.
Yes.
Okay. So, can you guys define or describe a defining moment that kind of solidified your friendship when you knew this girl is my friend or this woman is my friend or yeah, anything you can think of? Because you're friends with many people, loads of people,
Mm.
right? Or you know loads of, let me not say friends, you know loads of people,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So, when did you guys decide that this person is special? She's a good friend. I mean, I don't know. Tinika has loads. I don't know about Tinika. So maybe Wano or Deli can start first, then Tinika can answer. Except you guys are like Tinika. But yeah.
No one is like that. No one is like her or her husband. Dana, do you want to go? I'm trying to think of what.
I'm, I'm trying to
I don't
think.
really think for me. I don't think there was like a defining moment. I think
Mm.
of the friendship I have with these two women is there's no there's it's almost like there's no demand. It's not a weighty relationship. Well, it's never been a weighty relationship. I don't feel like, oh my gosh, if I don't check in with them, then the next time I check in, they're going to accuse me that I haven't spoken to them in like 10 weeks or in like 10 months or whatever. We always pick up where we left off. And then I think because we have a lot of mutual friends as well, the friendship has blossomed into, I don't think there's a day goes by without me talking to them in completely different groups, by the way. So, yeah, I can't really say there's been a defining moment, but I know that now days don't go by without having interaction with either of them. I don't know if maybe this is our defining moment. Maybe.
Yeah, I think for me as well, I can't think of any real defining moment, but I think one with you, I think the fact that we came together, I think we used to pray every week or was it every other week? I can't remember how we did it then. So just before we got married, so we there were about 5 or 6 of us getting married that same year. So we formed a group where we used to come together and we used to pray into our weddings, into our marriages, and I think that's where the friendship solidified because we had something that we're connecting with, and then we all helped one another at our various weddings and we're all very active in. So I think that's where it really solidified. To be honestly with you, I still can't, I always look at pictures and I always ask myself, when did that connection happen? And I just can't put my finger on it. I guess it's just because of the kind of person you are. And so when I look at some pictures of when we looked so much younger, and we were just sitting on the floor, and I was thinking, oh my gosh,
In
have
your
I not
house, Abby, I
grown
always
up?
remember
Yeah,
that
my house.
picture where my
Yes,
hair is out in the purple. Yeah, I'd always be
yes,
like, oh,
yes.
I feel like that if I was to choose a defining moment, it would be that. Although I don't remember what happened then.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
it was just we were having some tight knots thing, but we were just
yeah,
chilled together in the corner. I don't
yeah.
think that there was any specific defining moment, and I think sometimes with friendships, they just certainly with these ones, they just grow, they happen, and then all of a sudden you realize, like one who said, we're talking every day, we're talking. It's not like there was a moment when I was like, oh, it just kind of happened, like how it happened with you and me, Funke. You know.
The
No
side eye
comments.
was felt from Hackney.
No comments. But you know, okay, you guys are in different friendship groups. But what is
Hmm.
so special about your friendship compared to the other groups that you belong to?
I think like what Wanu said, is just that there's no demand. I don't feel like, oh my gosh, Wanu has not checked in on me, or Tinuke has not called me. Or when I see it's like there's no, it's just basically what Wanu said. I'm not expecting anything in
So does
particular.
that
I
mean
just know
that
that,
sorry to interrupt, does that mean
yeah.
that your other group friends are they demanding?
No, that's I think all the friends I have. Any friend that's demanding, I walk away because I can't do friendship like that. I'm sorry. So
Okay.
you just have to take me as and I check on you when I check on you. If I don't, it's not because I don't care, and vice versa. So I don't. I'm not one that somebody calls me and I say, wow, what has happened? You've not come in. No, I appreciated the fact that you actually thought about me on that day to call me. It's as simple as that. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Tinuke. Oh,
Uh,
go on,
okay, yeah.
one. Go on, one.
I mean, I think and I think also because we can straddle any kind of walk in life. So, so it can be Lily and I chatting about what happened. I mean, when she said she has story for days about her, I see she has story for days, and it can be as simple as, guys, life is just doing me differently this week, and then there will be encouragement, or she
Mm.
can be about her school, or we could be going through serious stuff, as you know we have, and then the support is just there. It's never. I don't think I've ever gone to either of them expecting. I've always felt better. I've always come out a better person. I've always come out encouraged, or I've always come out like, okay, I didn't know that before, but I know it now. So, they make me a better person for sure. They challenge me, in different ways. Zaz is always challenging me about work. Always about work. She's the one that's saying, but you can do this. Why are you not doing it? You're just being silly. Get off your backside. She's the one that does all of that. And daily just life lessons. Why is, I know there are other questions that she asked me that I shouldn't really say on this platform. But just life lessons. Both of them just make me better. And I like how I am when I'm with them. There are no airs and graces. There are actually no airs and graces. It's almost like, without saying it, we just don't have time for airs and graces. And not to say that that goes, with our other friendships or friendship groups. But particularly with them, if I come and I haven't, I'm going on a school run and I haven't showered or whatever, I don't even think they notice. It's not just, they haven't even noticed that, you know, perhaps I'm in my nightgown or whatever is very, very simple. And I think the simplicity, as you get older, you crave that. You try, but you don't try. So obviously I try to be better for them as well. But then when I'm not trying, it's okay as well. So I think, and I've never been one to have lots of female friends. Certainly when I was younger, it was too much like hard work, so I just didn't do it at all. Unlike Zaz, who had female friends her whole life, I don't even understand how she did it, and I've always admired that. I'm just like, how do you do it? So there's stuff I'm learning from them constantly as well. Similar in that we're just like, whoa, listen, as you see me, as you take me as you see me. But even in that, I'm learning that you don't actually have to be the way you thought you were. You can evolve.
Right.
I think yeah. So in that respect, they're valuable to me.
Oh, how sweet. Tiniki.
Sorry, please. I'm menopausal. What was the question?
Oh God. Oh
What's
God.
special about what's special about your
Oh, what's
friendship?
so special about our friendship? So, one who went on for so long, I've lost the trail. What's so
Great.
special about our friendship? I think one who touched on a lot of it. For me, I think that the whole thing about friendship is about being better and helping people to be better and just, like their strengths and like just being, and I guess the word I'll use is the iron sharpens iron, but I don't particularly want to, but it's like that whole thing of when you said I feel better when I'm with them, that I wouldn't want to be in a friendship that I leave feeling miserable, or that I leave, you know what I mean? I always leave feeling criticized, or I don't mind. I mean, there's some that are not on this program that will pull you up and attack you in any one kind of way. They're part of us, but it doesn't matter. You still don't feel like you're leaving there. You know that they're doing it out of love, and it always ends in a good way. So I think that there's just a genuine respect of who we are, who God created us to be, and who we can be, should be, and how we can help ourselves to get to where we're supposed to be. I think that's and I think there's a unspoken understanding of that. So there are no demands. There are no demands,
And no
but we all
demands.
know what our role is in the other person's life, so to speak, almost intrinsically, that we just know that, okay, this is, and we almost know in the group who is better at doing what for who. So we just leave the person to it. I don't know, it just sort of works. I really don't know how to explain it, but it
Very
just
organic.
works. Yeah, very
This one
organic and
very
it's
organic.
like the person knows who to, like if somebody needs to be, I don't know, it's really weird the way we kind of, well, not weird, maybe not weird, but it's really beautiful the way we kind of just, each one of us knows what we're doing without, I guess we're all just doing what we're supposed to be doing, what we're supposed to be in the lives of the other people, and so it works. And nobody's trying to step over anybody's um boundaries, so we're good.
That's great. Okay.
Yeah.
So how has your friendship evolved as you've moved through different life stages? I mean, you guys, Dele and Wanu said you guys met before you got married. So how has it evolved as you've moved through marriage, motherhood, careers, and even widowhood? Because Dele is widowed.
Okay,
So
Dele,
how
you
has it
go.
evolved?
It's I think with everything with life happening, we've just actually got a lot stronger and closer because people have just, we've just stepped in and supported each other in different ways. So, for instance, when his husband was going through his challenges and everything, I think we all just stood up and just were just there. And I think we've just grown closer. And yeah, that's what I can think of. We've just definitely grown closer as we've grown older. And then sharing life experiences, there are times when Tanika and I will talk about our daughters and what they're doing with life and, either going on with school or not schooling or what business or not business and stuff like that. We just share ideas like that. And yeah, it's just basically yeah, we've just grown together and grown stronger, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, we've
Okay.
definitely. Yeah, definitely. I agree.
Anyone else wants to chip in?
What I was going to say is, I think that going back to what I said about how we kind of instinctively know what to do, we've got ourselves to a point where we understand that this friendship is for life. This friendship is, so this is what Dile needs right now, and therefore this is what I'm giving Dile right now. This is what Wanu needs right now, so therefore this is what I'm giving one. You know what I mean? We kind of just adjust, and then this is what Tinuke needs, and they are coming and giving it. So but it's almost, like I said, it's almost unspoken. And I don't know if that's just because we just know. I mean, I don't think there's any point in time when, I mean, this does happen, but in terms of the major things, I don't think there's been a point in time when, Dele has called up and said, oh, okay, I need you to do this. No, we know, once we know what the situation is, we know how to respond. And I think it's just that ability to respond in love to whatever they're going through or we are going through. Yeah.
Okay. Picking up from what you just said, has this friendship been tested? And what I mean is that, have you
Every
guys quarreled?
single die.
So you guys, have you quarreled and made up and stuff like that?
No, I
No,
think one thing I always look back and I think I feel blessed with the friends I've got in my life and these two ladies as well. I don't have friends I fight or quarrel with because I think just like what Tineke said,
No,
they're
when
bound.
you know what we okay, sometimes when we talk about quarrel, you think it's just it could be disagreeing about something and having a stand about that and then the other person's like, no, I don't agree with you, blah blah blah. So have you guys? Well, okay, maybe quarrel then, or whatever it
But we
is.
can disagree and still be okay. There's nothing wrong with disagreeing. I mean, I remember many a time where Shade would say, "No, I don't agree with that." You know, I saying, and well, okay, you don't agree with it. That's your problem. Well, I agree with it. Do you understand what I mean? That doesn't have to end the relationship. It doesn't have to be a problem. I mean, I say that because it hasn't been over things that are majorly, you know, maybe that's why. But I honestly feel that you don't have to. In fact, it would be funny if you agreed with everything that you're. The beauty of friendships and relationships is that you are different and that you bring different things to the table. And
Yeah.
sometimes when somebody says, "I don't agree with that," I would like to know, okay, why? Let me try and even hear it from your point of view. So I can, at the end, I might still say, well, I don't agree with you. But it's also a learning opportunity. It's not. So I mean, I personally, I'm not really into fighting with anybody because, first of all, I don't see the point. And in the grand scheme of things, it's just a waste of time. You meet people that have been fighting 20 years, they don't know what they fought about. I mean, I just feel like it's just completely immature and stupid. That's my opinion. However, I understand that a lot of people do find themselves emotionally entangled in stuff that they feel that I actually can't do this and whatnot. And that's fine. That's their opinion and their decision to make. But I just think that, yeah, I mean, really, no.
You want to?
No, I'm even trying to think what would cause that to happen. Like what? I don't know. We haven't. It hasn't been tested. I mean, it's been tested twice. And then other things coming like for your attention and stuff. But in terms of what would cause like a major disagreement, yeah,
No,
I don't. That was
You guys have never had a major disagreement.
not at all.
I don't know why. I still think it hasn't really been tested, but that's just me.
It's a school of
No.
thought. But it's a school of thought. Some people say that is when you come through the other side of an agreement, a disagreement, that you realize, what the things you can tolerate, the things the other person can tolerate. It's a school of thought. But I mean, speaking with these two ladies, not yet. I guess maybe I should say not yet. Maybe something will come and test.
What could test a friendship like this? I'm just trying to think, like, sort of somebody stealing another person's husband or somebody doing something stupid. I don't understand. I just don't get what I mean. Like Tinuka and both of them have said, we can have a topic
I
where we
think,
don't all
okay,
have the
let me
same.
give you an example. I think for me, one of the friendships that I had, it was betrayal, and that
Okay.
broke the friendship. That was that for
Okay.
me. That was why.
See,
That
for
was
me, betrayal is a big word because like
yeah,
Jesus was betrayed. So
yeah.
I know a lot of people use the word betrayal, and sometimes I'm not going to ask you because I'll ask you after. But what whether I would consider it to be a betrayal or not. But I honestly think in the end, when it comes down to can you see Kemi said we don't need tests. Friendships don't need to be tested. We don't want tests.
But
But
even
I think
Peter was tested. His relationship with Jesus was tested,
yeah.
and
No,
even though Jesus forgave him afterward. But anyway, go on, go on, go on.
Does that mean that we want tests? She
I'm
said
not
we don't
saying.
want tests. We said we don't want tests. We didn't say that we are not going to be tested.
Can you be sure you're really friends if you haven't been tested? I mean,
Oh,
if you're talking about, well, we've been through a lot of stuff together. I mean, as Dilly alluded to, my husband had a cardiac arrest. Dilly lost
Yeah.
her husband. We were there, you know.
Well, I mean, I guess that could be the testing. That
That's a
could be the
test. Yeah,
testing.
that's
Yeah,
a test.
that
because
could be the
I
testing.
think actually that is the testing because I had a friend that
Yeah.
went through cancer and I remember her saying that that's when she knew who her friends were because all the people that she
Mm,
thought would be around her just disappeared.
mm.
And the truth of the matter is that I mean she was upset about it, but the honest truth is there's some people that can't handle some things. And
Yeah,
one of the
yeah,
things I always say in friendship is you need to know your friends. You need to
yeah.
know your friends because you cannot demand of them more than they can give you and then
Yeah.
get offended because they didn't give it to you. And I think that is the cause of a lot of arguments or a
Yeah.
lot of disagreements in relationships because you are thinking this is what I would have done, therefore this is what you should do.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the person doesn't necessarily have the capacity to do what you would have done, and then
Mm,
you now make it a big thing. Well, you didn't this that and the other. Sometimes you just need to step back from yourself and look into what is going on in the other person's life. And that's why I said to you when you said this thing about betrayal, I'm not saying it's not a betrayal, but I remember another friend of mine saying someone had betrayed her. And when she told me what the person did, I was like really? That's not a betrayal. You are just all up in your ego because she didn't do what you thought she should do. Do you understand what I mean? And I think sometimes that is where the problem is where we're too much into ourselves and there's nothing wrong with being hurt and taking time out to heal. There's nothing wrong with that. And letting the person know that, you know what, that really hurt me. And, so I'm not saying that, those things don't happen, but I struggle personally. And maybe it's just because I haven't been tested, but I struggle to see what will make me say, I'm not speaking to you ever again.
No,
I
no, no. I
struggle.
didn't say that. I'm not speaking to the
No, I
person.
didn't say
But
you
what
said
I'm
that. I'm
saying
talking
is that
generally.
the relationship has been redefined. So forgiven and all of that. But the relationship has been redefined
Yeah.
because
Well, that's
it's just
fine. But
like,
that's fine. But it's still,
I
so is
get
it
that.
still a friendship or it's not a friendship anymore?
Friendship is just not what it used to be because there's no trust. The trust levels are
thank you.
different.
Yeah, that's it.
But you see, but I
That's
think that all relationships go through, because of the different stages people are at, the different thing, so all relationships will go through different defining stages at different points in time. And you may well become friends with a person that you stop being friends with much later on. It's like, I think, but that for me is not that you fought. Do you understand what I mean? So
no,
it's not,
no.
that's what I
Yeah.
mean. But I can't see why. There's nothing I can see. I don't think there's anything I
But I
can see that
think
will cause me
maybe
to
what
say.
you should say is that thank God you haven't been through some things, because I'm sure there are people on this line that I will say to you that I have been through this and that. Okay, maybe if like I mean, it didn't happen to me, but like Dele said, if a friend, maybe one of you now start to date her, or Dele starts to date one of your husbands, that will be a big test.
So
Do you
were you friends
understand?
in the first place?
Sorry,
Were you
Exactly.
friends in the first place?
sorry, I didn't get that. It's
He
breaking
said,
up.
were you friends in the first place? If Dele starts to date Wale, then was she really my
Oh,
friend in
okay,
the first
okay,
place?
yeah, yeah. And I guess that's the other thing. That's the other thing, because sometimes, especially now, we make friends as if we're still in primary school, where
Yeah.
it's because she has this, or I want to belong to her group, and we just everybody, and then some people just call everybody their friends. So, what
Mm.
exactly is a friend? How do we define a friend? Who is
Mm.
a friend? That's another question. What can you guys help with that?
I'm not the person to answer this question because all of you are going to disagree with me. Please, Dele, Bonu.
Why do you think we disagree with you?
That's
Because
some.
everybody says, I have too many friends. It's not possible that I'm friends with my friend. They're always on my case about my friends. So there's nothing I can say here. That's it.
Talk about love
Yeah,
and
we have
forgiveness. Very
friends, but
weird.
then there are different levels of friendship as well. I think I believe there are
You
different
see,
levels of
I
friendship.
believe, and I think there was one day I was at your house, Funke, and there was I don't know if you were involved in that conversation about the friendship, where one of the ladies there said she has two friends. And I said, you have two friends. I mean, like my head couldn't even understand the statement. So she said yes, and she was like, yeah, that. Anyway, but when we drilled down, it turned out that what she meant was the ones that she would tell every single little
Things.
thing about. There's two of them, but obviously
Yeah.
she had more than two friends. So again, it depends on how you define friendship and what obviously there's the inner circle, the inner caucus, but I mean, I think there's, so it depends, and your relationship with each of them, the level of what you expect from them, etc., is different. Having
Mm.
said that, I still think that expectation things is a problem. you know
Exactly.
I do.
I think,
No matter
yeah,
how close you are, I think expectations is a problem.
yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'll use an example. For instance, when I was going through all the things I went through, there are people like you guys on the call now that were literally, I'm sure you were in my house every day. I cannot tell. I cannot remember who was in my house, but I know some people like you guys were in my house literally every day. I don't think I've ever really come back to say, I want to thank you so much. You did X,
Now
Y,
is your
and Z.
opportunity. Now is your opportunity.
Every day anyway. So,
But you know that I appreciated everything, but then again, nobody. I don't know, and I hope there's nobody out there. But if there is anybody out there, I apologize deeply that I've never come back to say thank you that you were actually there. Because there's some days there were days I'll be trying to think. Who actually fed my children? Who actually cleaned my house? I have no idea, but those things were happening.
Hmm.
But I know that, but then not everybody that I consider friends were there at that time because, like Sunuka said, if I was expecting that from everybody that I called friends, I would be highly disappointed. I'll be hurting right now that people were not there for me. But I didn't expect it. Whatever I got, I appreciated, and I appreciated those that whatever. And those that couldn't even be there, I still appreciated them for whatever thing they could do. So for me, just like Tinuke, not having expectations. If you ask, if you, who are you to be demanding anything? Period is what I think. who am I to demanding anything from anybody? So whatever I get, I appreciate. Full stop.
But
I'm talking about.
expectations
Sorry.
demands.
Yeah. No, go
Mm-hmm.
ahead. I think we're about to say the same thing. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say our expectations demands. If you're my friend, I would. I want to use. I was going to use the word expect again, but I just believe that there's certain things that we'll do for each other. Now, of course, the level might be different
Mm.
again, depending on your background and upbringing. But I still think there's certain things. I mean, so for example, a friend, you expect, again, you guys may correct me, expect your friend to be loyal.
Fair
You
enough.
expect
Yeah.
your friend to be trustworthy.
Mm.
I can't think of anything else off the top of my head. But yeah, is that wrong in a friendship?
No, that's perfectly okay in a friendship. I expect my friends to be loyal. I expect my friends to be trustworthy, but I won't expect my friends to. I don't expect my friends to. Not that I don't expect them to be there. I love my friends to be there, but I won't put demands on people to be like drop
No.
everything and be there for me just
Yeah.
because. If they're there, if they can make it, fantastic. If they can't,
So
I
wait, can I just come in here? When you say
yeah.
you expect your friends to be loyal, Funke, however, what you define as loyal. So Dele can say the fact that they didn't turn up at my house means they are not loyal. You understand? So
No.
Mhm.
it
I was
depends. No, it depends on your definition of these things.
Fair
So
enough.
okay.
you expect,
Okay.
and that's why I said that it's important you know your friends and what they can give. Because
Mm.
what you call loyalty, if you are saying that my friends must not speak to my husband, let's say that's your definition of loyalty, that my friends must not speak to my husband, then you know
You know
that
the test. Did you I'm a lawyer?
what
The test is a reasonable man. Will a reasonable
Okay.
person expect blah
That
blah blah?
okay. Mm.
okay, so my own answer is how many reasonable people are there in the world? That's my answer. But anyway, but but no, but what I mean is that if that is your expectation, so there's a reasonable level that you expect. But what I'm saying is there's a lot of
Yes.
people that would allocate those words to things that are not necessarily reasonable by virtue of the fact that they have relationship. So they
Okay.
will now think. So I remember that there was a friend of mine that got upset with another friend because basically the friend would come into her house and go up to her bedroom, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, boundaries are being crossed. But the friend was like, but we're friends.
Mm.
Do you understand? Because in her opinion, that friend, if we're friends, this is how we're friends now. Do you know what I mean? So you have to draw your boundaries sometimes. But if you're
Mm.
not drawing your boundaries, you cannot say that she wasn't loyal. And if when you draw your Bible and your people say that, okay, they can't do this boundary or they can't, they're not, there's certain, I mean, I'm trying to think who it was I was talking about where we were. So we were having a laugh, me and my friends. We were saying, we won't even try to do that in so and so's house. She's our friend, but we know that you can't even try this. When I go to this house, I go into the kitchen, do what I like, and you know what I mean. I don't have to be waiting to be invited into the kitchen. We understand that. I know that, but there's certain people's houses I go into. I won't wander near the kitchen unless they call me. You know
Mm.
what I mean? I know their boundaries. So
Mm.
I have learned how my friends, what bothers my friends, what doesn't bother, you know what I mean? And I respond accordingly. However, there'll be some people that don't. And therefore, it now becomes you. So I think, but if I didn't do that, like I now say, I went into her kitchen and she was upset, but I know she doesn't like me being in her kitchen now. Do you
Mm.
understand? You have to
Mm.
know your friends and decide whether you can live with that friendship relationship or not. If I
Sure.
know that I can't deal with Dele without going into her kitchen, then maybe that's where the friendship ends. Or I never go to her house because I have to be in her. You know what I mean? So
Mm.
I think there's a responsibility on us sometimes. We're always putting it on our friends. But I think
Mm.
sometimes we have to actually know who the people we're dealing with are and decide whether this is something we can live with or not.
Mm.
Okay. Fair
I think
enough.
I think I like what Bumi said there about being entitled. I like that.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like
that
that too.
sense of entitlement that I can't stand. Who are you to to feel
Yeah.
entitled to anything? Just take
Yeah.
what you get. Full stop.
Yeah, I like it. Let me read it because of the video later on.
Yeah.
Bumi put expectation is different from entitlement. We have expectations of our friends, but we must never feel entitled. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. We just talked about loyalty and honesty. So what role does honestly play rather in your friendship, and how do you navigate difficult conversations? So if like okay, I said I like Wanu's headgear and I do like it. It suits her. But if you don't like it, Tinuke or Dele, or maybe it was something that she wore or something that she's doing, how do you go about telling her
So
without hurting her feelings?
So if I don't like, it's not really about whether I like it or not. That's her style, and she's happy and she's confident and she's good in it. That's okay. I don't have to like it. It's not for me to like. I need to like how I present myself, but it's not. However, if she's, I don't know, one breast is sticking out somewhere, I'll be like, hello, darling, this is not okay. Do you understand what I
Yeah.
mean? So it depends on, I cannot criticize
Mm.
her style, her decisions in terms of how she, but if I
Mm.
feel that it's not representing who I feel she is or is trying to be or has told me she wants to be or whatever, I can, say, well, maybe next time, please wear jackets or something. You know what I mean? So we will definitely approach it, but I think that we have to be careful what we tell people. The fact that I don't like something is really
Mm.
irrelevant. It's
Mm.
only relevant when it becomes something that affects me personally. Like I don't like the way she talks to me. That's different. But to say
Mm.
I don't like the way, it's none of my business. And that's she's a full grown. I keep saying this, a full grown adult who is in her right mind. If she decides to wear this thing on her head, I mean, do you understand what I mean? You know what I mean? It's not down to me.
Okay, Dele.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think everybody's personal style is different, but yeah, just like Tinike said, if I think if a friend of mine steps out and is dressed in what I feel is inappropriate, like exposing what shouldn't be exposed, I will definitely speak up and tell, "Hey, girl, what are you thinking? That's not right. I don't think
I mean,
that's right." And
Have
the
you
other
guys
thing that
ever
I
had
have
to
done.
tell each other things?
So I was going to say the other thing that I have done with one of my friends is I've said to her that the way you're dressing is making you look frumpy. Why don't you try it like this? That's also I will do that, but that's
mm,
not about his style. That's more about a you know
mm, presentation.
just the dress to fit your figure type of. You know what I mean? So but she doesn't have to take it, and I will deliver it nicely. So
It's interesting. I just remembered, Tinuke, can you remember something that you had on that was blue? And I sent you a message. I can't remember what it was now. And I was saying, or did I not send it? I can't remember. But I
you
know
are
you
thinking it.
recently
You
had
did tell me.
Was on the
some.
line, so you deleted this.
Maybe I deleted it. Because in my head I was thinking, I don't think this color flatters Tinuke. But I was trying to figure out how to tell her. But
Mm.
maybe I didn't. If you can't remember, that
You
means I
didn't.
didn't send
You
it to
didn't.
you. I decided,
Well,
okay,
you
there's
need
no
to know
point.
that. So go and check
She has
all your blues again.
So you see,
interesting.
but then the other thing about that is, I mean, I'm looking at Tola, no, not Toyin's. What if
Doing
it's not
always here.
flattering? Do you
Yeah,
say anything? Because the other
yeah.
thing about that is that you have to be very careful, I think, in terms of because a lot of it is opinion. I may not think it's flattering, but 100 other people might think it's flattering. So, I mean, I would say, depending on who the person is, I would say that, oh, I don't think, but I would never say I don't think and not give them an alternative because I don't think it's fair to
Mm.
say this thing doesn't flatter you. So, if I'm going to
Mm.
say this thing doesn't flatter you, I need to say maybe don't wear the belt or maybe put on a
Mm.
scarf here or whatever. I have to help them to make it look in what I think is flattering. But again, I still think that's quite subjective because it's what I think and my opinion.
Mm.
Although
But
there's some things that is blatantly wrong, Sha, but
I think the thing I was even going to send, if I remember, was something about have you considered this shade of blue? And I can't remember. I have to look for it because I'm sure because sometimes I send messages
Please,
to
what
myself
shade of
before.
blue was I wearing now?
I can't
Because every shade
remember.
of blue fits me. But anyway, we'll just leave it at that.
Well,
No, but
then, like you
to
said, it's a
broad,
matter of opinion.
I think to
Um,
broaden the conversation a little bit of what Pastor Fouke was asking. So not necessarily if you don't like what they're wearing or whatever. Broaden it a little bit, as in if I don't know if they need to chew gum, for example. Obviously you
mm,
guys
mm,
people like, I'm always sniffing myself. You guys, you both know anyway. So what if it's those kinds of things? Do you say? I
I
mean,
say that chewing gum, I tell them all the time. Please, you are chewing gum like a bushman. If you must chew gum, can you keep your mouth closed?
oh, I think
No,
maybe
no, no, no,
they've just
no. Do you need
What do you
to
mean? If
come?
they have
Because
smelly breath? Ah,
yeah.
Funke was trying me with this. So Funke, do you remember that?
what's that?
There was one girl that she had BO, and my beloved friend Funke didn't want to tell the girl. Now called me to say since I'm closer to her.
No, but not everyone can say that. To be fair, so
But
I think she
it's
did.
true, though. It's true, Tineke.
Not
If you
everyone
have a
can.
relationship with someone,
Yeah,
it's
I agree.
easier.
No,
Yeah,
no,
it's better.
absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. I agree.
So
Yeah.
say, I mean, so the question is, can you say? Are your friends friends?
But I would say, I would, the timing will be very important. The location will be important. So I'm not going to say that day when they're there that, oh, you're smelling. And like I might offer them, I'll take a mint myself, offer them a mint if
I
that's,
was
you know
just
what I
going to
mean.
say that.
But I
Yeah.
would then discuss it with them in a more appropriate setting. Absolutely, yeah. Because it's not fair. Why will I now? I hate it when everybody else knows something and you don't know it. That's just unfair.
Well, I also
Yeah.
think it depends on the person. I think it's this thing that you said about knowing who your friend is, because some people may not be able to take that. It's one of the hardest conversations to have. As
Yeah.
somebody that I'm always sniffing myself. I mean, they'll tell you every so often you catch me doing that. It's a thing. So, it's a really difficult conversation to have. So, do I have friends that will say to me? My sisters certainly will say to me because those ones are brutal. Yeah. I mean, I like to think I would, depending on the person. But again, in the situation, I really don't know. The gum one is somewhat easier because I'll just chew gum and then offer it to you, as you guys have said.
Mm.
And not to say that if I'm offering you gum from now till tomorrow, but this is what was said or hangout cafe or the head is no, no, no. It's not always the case. But I'm just saying it's an easier sell. In terms of BO, that's a more difficult one. You really have to gauge the person because what's your suggestion? Are you saying shower properly? It's not an easy thing to say. So you really have to be careful. Excuse me, that that you know the person because your friendship actually can suffer from things like that because
Mm.
better like, oh, how long have you known this and you haven't told me? Is a tricky one. And I think the other thing I wanted to say from one of the other points before is we go into friendships when we're like a lot younger. So in your 20s, your friendship mean completely different things. They mean, I'm your ride or die. I can turn up for you. If somebody step into you, nobody should expect me to come and step to somebody else because somebody else, I can't do it. I have children and family. They can't take me for you. Not to say that I don't love you. Friendship just mean different things at different points in your life. In your
Yeah.
20s, is more you it's almost like you're putting what you would do for somebody on that person. So
Yeah.
if I feel like I can go to town for you, I will up and go. If you say that tomorrow we're going to the Bahamas and you're expecting me to go because that's what I would do for you, you know, in your 20s, that may be okay because that's maybe what you need. And,
Mhm.
we're all evolving and you're not quite maybe grown up enough yet or mature enough yet to be able to do things on your own without, needing backup. And there's nothing wrong with backup. Then that's what you need. In your 30s, it's something different. In your 40s, and so on and so forth. So I think one of our biggest errors in friendship is that you're bringing expectations, entitlements from a different era in your life into where you
Mm.
are now, and you always have to be able to be reflective. You always have to be able to check everything every time. Check yourself, check the other person, have conversations, talk about it.
Yeah.
Some conversations are more difficult than others. I agree, but it's important to always be aware that you're in a different space. I
Yeah.
recently made friends with a lot of people from my son's school, a lot of people that I would have never made friends with before, but
Mm.
I was in that space, and actually they're amazing. They're amazing friends. So
Mhm.
you know at different points in your life just demand different things. So, I guess we're all in the stage where we just can't give what we can't give. We actually literally can't give what we
Yeah.
can't give. And if
Yeah.
you're asking it of us, then you're on your end, you're going to suffer slightly because I can't give it to you. And it doesn't work for some people, and actually that's okay.
Mhm.
It's actually okay. It's okay for you and me not to be the bestest buddies. It's okay.
Mm.
Let's allow it to be organic. Let's allow it to be what it can be, and actually, what it ends up being, like it has been with Tinubu and Dile, is a really beautiful thing that you don't even know where you start and where they start,
Yeah.
where you end and where they start. It just evolves into this amazing thing that we have now, where you know somebody can just turn up at my house because my husband's in the hospital and bring me food. I didn't even tell you that I was hungry. That kind of like what Daly said, like how are my children fed? I don't know how my children got to school on some days, how they came back from school. It just
Mm.
evolved into this amazing thing.
Mm.
So I think always with friendships, I think it's important to start with yourself. And if
Mm.
you're being honest with yourself, you're able to say, this one I can go with this one. Yeah, let's keep you. Someone talked about concentric circles in the chat, like you put friends in circles. And I actually think that's okay too.
Mm. Yep.
Okay. It's actually okay. It's okay. Don't be offended. I don't love you any less. That's the God honest truth. I do not love you any less. Some people are just able to tolerate who I am more, and I'm naturally more drawn to those people. you know.
Yeah.
So now I'm stiffing myself again. So I'm going to have to go find something because so now
And
I
you know,
don't
I
know
think
why you know why I'm
thank
stiffing
you. Thank you, Wolu. And I think what Tinuke said is true. Just know who your friends are.
myself.
You know, understand them. So you know what, okay, this is what this person can give and what the person cannot. So you don't have too much expectations, I guess, of the person. Okay.
But I think
Folks, if you have questions, if you have questions for the what do they call themselves now? The 4Gs. The 4Gs. Please put it in the question box before we go. Were you going to say something before?
yeah, I was going to say, I think that there's a whole lot of acceptance that needs to go on. And this is one of the things that I think a lot of the time we don't do because again, it comes down to expectations and maybe just things that we have been told. This is what a friend is. This is how a friend should be. This is what, you know what I mean? And I think sometimes in any relationship, not just friendships, we have to accept it. I think people think that when you accept how a person is, you're condoning how they are. And that's not what it means. It means that you can see that this is how the person, this is the person as they are now. It doesn't mean they can't change. It doesn't mean that, but this is how they are now. I have to accept it because if by the time you start to, as far as I'm concerned, if you don't accept, you're beginning to judge, and you have no business judging because you're now saying they should this, they should that. Who are you to say what they should be? So I think for me, one of the key things with my relationships is acceptance. To accept them as they are. Of course, we all want to change. I mean, I had to accept myself as well. And you're working on things you want to change. Everybody's working on what they want to change. It doesn't mean that by accepting somebody how they are means that you're holding them hostage. It just means that you acknowledge that, okay, this is what, like Dele was saying, this is what they can give. I mean, was it whoever? This is what they can give. This is where they're at. This is the situation that they're going through, etc., etc. And therefore, I have to take all this into consideration in my relationship with them because that is who they are. I can't now say that, oh, because, I want this, they must do this, that, and the other. Meanwhile, they really, I haven't accepted the reality of who they are. And I think sometimes we don't do that because we want, I don't know, for whatever images we're following that we think, oh, this is how friendship should be. So we're demanding certain things and we're not accepting people and then we're getting upset because
I guess it's knowing who they are, this is what they can give, and knowing that, okay, I can take this from them, or I can't, or I can deal with it.
and
Or
that's
so if
acceptance
you
now. Yeah,
can,
that's
yeah,
acceptance. Yeah.
yeah.
If you
Okay.
can't accept them, it's better you leave them.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Wait,
So
sorry,
yeah.
question. But that thing that you said about accepting them, but what if they badly behave? Because you have some people that are around you that are badly behaved. So what do you do? Do you accept that their bad behavior?
Well then.
So, okay, let me give you an example. I have a particular friend that is always late. Always, always late. As in,
That may or may not be me, but let's just leave it at that. Carry on.
always late. So I know that she's late. So I don't go places with her. I will meet her there. Do you understand? Because if I now say, oh, let's go together, I'll now be annoyed because I will now be late. Meanwhile, I know she's always late. Why am I now going with her? Do you understand what I mean? So it's that sort of thing where that, as far as I'm concerned, is badly behaved. It's just total lack of respect for people's time. But that's how she is. That's how she has always been. I'm not going to. Do you understand what I mean? So what I've done is that it hasn't spoiled our friendship. It just means that there's certain things that I'm not going to do or depend on her for because I cannot be sure that it will happen you know what I mean? So I accept her for who she is. She's always late. I pray every day that she will not be late. I tell her this is not acceptable. I don't like it. I'm not coming with you because she will make me late. Do you, do you understand what I mean? But it's fine. But I've maneuvered myself around her because I accept her. Now, the other thing I could do is I could say, that's it, I don't want you in my life because you're always late. Or I could say, I'm going to be going, I'm going with her, then I'll be getting angry with her all the time, then we'll be fighting all the time because she's late. But she's late. I know she's late. Why am I putting myself in the position where I'm now getting upset with her for being late? She has shown me, is it Maya Angelou that says, when people show you who they are the first time, accept it. That's it.
Yeah.
That's who she is. So either I deal with it or I don't. It's on me
Yeah.
now. She
Yeah.
told me that I'm late. So that's how I would deal with that.
Yeah. Okay. But I'm sure the
Okay.
badly behaved that
Well,
Luna was talking about is probably more than that. But
no, I mean, she's just chastised me without realizing. But it's just, I feel like sometimes you have to call some things out if you're saying
yeah.
you're friends with somebody. I think there has to be is almost like that thing that happened with you and Pastor K, where Pastor K wasn't close enough to tell the person that you may need gum or whatever, but you were. So there has to be a level of, if this person really is your friend, if they're badly behaved, you need to be able to tell them. without
Yeah.
any fear of repercussion. Not
Yeah,
to
but I
say you
told
don't
her. I mean, I told her.
hold it
Do you
out
know what
and
I mean?
no, it's okay, you hold it, but I'm just saying in the acceptance, there's also
Oh yeah.
a pulling up of the other person. I don't know
Yeah,
what
but
the
that's why I said accepting doesn't mean condoning.
yes.
It doesn't mean you're condoning. It means you have acknowledged that this is how they are. And
Yeah.
obviously, if you disagree with it, well, certainly if I disagree with it, I will say, because they too need to know how I am now. Do you know what I mean? So I will say it, but it doesn't mean that I'm judging them. It doesn't mean that I'm going to hold anything against them. It just means that, okay, I don't like natives. I know you can't be on time. We're good.
Mm, fair.
Okay. Thank you, ladies. One other question. Have you guys ever had to set boundaries with each other? If so, how did you handle it? Have you ever had to
Yeah,
set
I've had to
boundaries?
tell Bonnie to stop stalking me. Like, this is enough, girl.
At different times of the day as well. It can be at 2 o'clock in the morning. It's true. Um,
No,
boundaries.
It's
Do
not
you even
been anything that's been. No, I don't think we've actually just said anything out like that. Like, oh, this is a boundary. This is something that no. I guess again, it's just down to know, like what they both said, knowing who your friends are and knowing what is acceptable and not acceptable. So
Okay.
yeah, I mean, I
I
wouldn't
don't think
expect.
go on,
So,
Dilly.
I mean, it's like I wouldn't walk into either of their houses and just think that it's okay to just walk straight into their bedrooms. It's never
okay.
been said, but at least I know that is not. But
Yeah.
then again, there are one or two other friends that it's perfectly acceptable for me to walk into their bedrooms.
Okay.
So knowing, I guess again, is just knowing, who the
I think it's
person is.
knowing you. I think that we all have boundaries that we kind of in the relationship. People know we don't have to say this is my
Mm,
boundary. Just by getting
mm,
to know the person, you know what their
Yeah.
boundaries are. But I think
yeah,
that's how it has happened here. So that I've never had to say don't do this. I'm not, no, I've never
mm,
had to do it. But I think in the way the relationship has developed, they are aware of my boundaries. I'm aware of their boundaries. We kind of know where
yeah.
they are.
Okay.
Mhm.
Were you going to say something, Bonnie?
No. I agree. I was just saying. Then I was trying to think of other friends who I've set boundaries with, and even that, I'm struggling.
Mm.
Okay. As we start to round up, so what are some of the biggest lessons that this friendship or relationship that you guys are in has taught you? And has it made you better being in this friendship group with each other?
I think we already said that. I mean,
Yeah, in
yeah,
different
no, it's
ways. Yeah.
definitely
Say it
made us
again.
better because, sorry, no, I think it's definitely made us better because I think the beauty of this friendship group is that we accept, we are honest, we pull up where necessary, but we support fully. So in the pulling up, we're still there to catch. You know what I mean? So it's not so it's definitely made us better. And I
Yeah.
think that's also like what the advantages are of it, because I know I can put of course, we have group chats up and down. So I know I can put a message in the group chat just saying, pray for me. And I know immediately they don't even need to ask me what it is. They're praying for me. You know what I mean? And then they're checking in on me. Are you okay? Are you, somebody put a thing the other day that they're not feeling well. Immediately, we know what to do. Nobody needs to just in their comment, they say, oh, how are you? I'm not feeling great. We've already taken the I'm not feeling great and gone with it and
Mm,
continued as normal. You know what I mean? So I think there's definitely the advantage of knowing you can just almost depend. I guess depend as in you know that you can depend what you put something there, you know that it's safe, you know that you're covered, you know
mm,
that they're sorting you out. Now, what I also know is that sometimes they'll be doing back talk. If I put something there, they may be talking to themselves about what to do to help Tinuke. But that's fine
Okay.
because you know that it's, you know what I mean. And then
mm,
so it's, yeah, that's what I'd
Yeah.
say.
So what I've learned in the last few years about myself is that when I'm feeling unsure about a particular area of my life, I can ask either one of them, and they always validate me. Not validate me in a very fake way, but then they might remind me of the things I've done, and
Right.
I've had that in the last few years where I've just thought, I'm not good enough in this area. Someone's challenging what I'm doing, and that in itself is not a problem. But sometimes you just need the confidence that actually, you're not a dullard. you know, you know what you're talking about, and that has been one of the one of the things that's come to the fore in the last few years, and Tinuke, I can say, has been very instrumental in saying, please, 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 who are you? She always say, who are you listening to? You always have to like, someone has said something to you, like, what have they said? Like, and they will be like, you have come again, because we know where this is coming from. Like, they always know the origin of when I start going down this rabbit hole. And that for me has been very instrumental, because then I attribute a lot of, I used to anyway, more so than now, validation into like, professional career. And so when that is challenged a little bit, it rocks me. But they've always been like, listen, you know your beans. And for me, that has been one of the most valuable things I've gained over the last few years, because, if I had allowed myself, or if they had allowed me to carry on in that rabbit hole, it wouldn't have ended well. So it's a lot of, so it's not even so, it's one of the slap and hug kind of validation. So they hug me, they'll be like, no, but then they'll say, come on, get up. And, and because they know that I appreciate that, they do that really well. So what I've learned, I guess, from them is, I guess, surround yourself with people that will validate you, but also challenge you. And they do that. So as well as supporting and, being here for the encouragement and being here for the, love you, appreciate you, they always also say, what are you still doing what you're doing? Why are you still doing this? Why are you listening to people that are telling you all sorts of things? So it's the support and validation, the challenging in particular, I think I found really useful. And they've without me even saying, guys, please, I need you to just check. Once I just say what I'm going through, they already know that it's a check. And I found it really beautiful. It's a really beautiful thing that has grown. And the other thing is, we actually never really expressed too much love amongst ourselves. We really don't. But we know that, like, if I just Dele, I love you, she would probably tell me to get lost. But she knows that I do love her, and I know that she loves me. So I guess that's knowing each other as well. There's some friends that I need to say that to, and I don't mind. Obviously, I love saying it. But there's some friends that they just know, and I just know how they feel as well. So it's just, yeah, I guess what I've needed now, they have brought it without even trying.
Thank you. All right. So people have asked the same question, but the same way, the same thing rather. So the quality of your friendship, has it depended on physical proximity? If you all suddenly ended up across the world, do you think you will remain as close?
We actually don't see each other as much as people think we see each other.
Yeah.
As in, I don't even think that proximity has anything to do with it. Proximity brought us together, but I don't think that proximity keeps us together at all.
No. I mean, because we don't think about often, and with different friendship groups. With one friendship group I have with Tinuke, we've tried to synchronize our dates just to go out. We've not been able to do that. And then with another friendship group, with a different friendship group with Wanu, same thing. It will be a poll. All right, everybody choose a date. And then suddenly somebody will be like, oops, sorry, I can't make it. Sorry, I can't make it. And we've not even physically met in either group that I belong to with these two ladies. I've not physically met up to do anything this year, which is crazy. But it doesn't take away from anything. We chat as often as possible.
I have to give WhatsApp so much credit, because I think without WhatsApp, I don't know where we would be. But WhatsApp, my goodness. I mean, because that's what I'm saying. We're in communication literally every day.
Yeah.
You might say WhatsApp kind of changed the way everything is, because and especially now you can do video calls as well, because before you would have to it was like you've not seen the person, you haven't spoken to them, but now there's nothing stopping you from communicating with people all the time. So I don't think that the proximity really has anything apart from bringing us together in the first place, which was probably because of the times anyway. I don't think that it has any.
Yeah.
So, talking about WhatsApp, my mom's WhatsApp thing was down for about a week or so. And when my sister spoke to her, she said she wasn't well. So when we eventually fixed it and said, this woman, she literally changed. So we said she was addicted to WhatsApp because message. I'm serious. She was so down. She said she was ill. She was feeling this. But as soon as the thing started working, this woman became very well. So
Because it is the communication line for a lot of people, and
Yeah,
especially older
yes,
yeah,
people.
yes,
That's how
yes,
they feel that they're still involved, in touch,
yeah.
etc.
yeah,
The
yeah.
people out here that have shares in WhatsApp are sending me messages to say, "Woohoo! Look, it's
Okay. Um, Advice. What advice would you give to women or anyone seeking meaningful, lasting friendships?
I'd say be a good friend yourself. Because you can
Mm.
Be
expect
a
things
good
from people,
friend
but who are
yourself.
you to other people? Are you a good person yourself? Are you a good friend? Just be a good friend to others as well, and then friends will come to you.
Okay. Wanu, Tinuke?
Um, yeah, I mean, it's a good question actually. Advice would I give? Um, just be honest with yourself. I think what Dilly said. Just be honest with yourself. Sometimes we try to pretend to be something else. I know I certainly did that with some friends. And then after a while, you forget that you're pretending. Then you revert to your normal self. Then the thing will just crumble. Then you're asking yourself, "Why did I ever do that?" But it's because really at the time you were pretending. Be honest with yourself in what you're able to in your capacity as a friend. Obviously, by God's grace, we're all trying to get better and improve. But just honestly engage with people that can make you better, people that you can make better. And I think always, if you always look at it from what can you give, always sort of approach it from, what are you bringing to the table? I think, as Lily said, you definitely be a better friend. Sometimes I always checking myself, is this friendship transactional? When the last time you spoke to this person, did you ask them for something? So, I'm always, you really have to check yourself because you're not sure what the other person's carrying, what they're going through. So, just always, check it. If you're honest with yourself, I think your friendships will be healthier. I think.
Yeah, yeah,
I think they both kind of said what I would say. I mean, I always approach friendships from the point of view of what can I bring to this relationship. So I'm always looking at myself and not so much them. And I think to refer to what because I think when you approach it that way, it's a completely different perspective because you're not, the expectations are not there. You know what I mean? It's more like, okay, what can I bring? Now, obviously, once you brought, then the relationship starts to, you actually start the relationship and then things shift and whatnot. But what when you said about transactional relationships, I just wanted to say that I think that after you've done the legwork, you've done the inner work and you've established the foundation of the friendship, it can be transactional. If one who calls me and says something, now I should help her do something, I'm not going
Right.
to, you know what I mean, because the relationship is already solid. So while it's a
Mhm.
transactional thing that she's doing with me, I know that that's not the basis of our relationship. Do you
Yeah,
understand what I mean? So I think that
yeah.
sometimes you can have transactional stuff going on within the relationship and it's not a problem. And I think you just have to, be aware. But obviously if it's the day one I'm meeting you and you're coming and all you want is demands, then you're not, it's not okay.
I actually
Mm.
said that it's okay to have a transactional relationship so long as you both know.
you both know.
That's
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
transactional.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yes,
there's nothing wrong
exactly.
with it. As long
Mm.
as you both know. Okay, Dele, final.
She
Final
answered
what?
first. Is it the same thing
Oh,
you're
she
talking?
did. Oh, sorry.
She answered first. I
um,
thought you were coming with another question.
no, no,
Yeah,
no, sorry.
yeah.
Someone asked a question earlier on that your husband's friends, well, okay, Dele's widowed, but are your husband's children, are they friends?
No.
Not really, no.
Okay,
No.
But both Wanu and Dele are friends with my husband,
Yeah,
okay.
and I am friends with Wanu's
yeah.
husband.
Same here. Yeah. And
But
you're a
your
good friend
husband
with
are
my
not
husband
friends
when he was
with
alive.
each
So
other.
But they're not. I mean, they know themselves. They're friendly, but they
yeah,
don't
but
hang
not
out.
we
They're
hang
not.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't hang out. Okay. What about Shade's husband?
Well, Sade is slightly different because certainly me, I know Sade because of her husband. So I've known her husband for years. So I was at her, Wale and her husband were friends and we were at her wedding. So Sade is only slightly different because the husband relationship was there before the wife relationship.
Okay. All right. Good, good. Ladies, you've been
And
amazing.
wait
But
now,
before
and
we
also
go,
Joke, what about Joke? Will you leave Joke out of this?
Yeah,
oh, okay.
Joker.
Joke,
So,
so yes.
oh, yeah.
Joke's husband is also so Shade's husband and Joke's husband are my friends, but
Husband.
again, they predate the wife. So I was friends with Joke's husband before I was friends with Joke.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
And are
Anything
you friends,
else?
Dele? Are you friends with Babo? Dele?
I wouldn't say we're friends like that, but yeah, we're friendly. But I wouldn't pick up my phone and call and chat with him necessarily. Yeah, yeah.
Well, I
Okay.
and Mr. Dedeji are actually family. They're related by marriage. So Mr. Dedeji's cousin is married to my sister. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Ah,
Okay.
So now they're family. So now we're family.
Yeah,
No, that's but sometimes there's much pressure to be husband and wife friends. Yeah. Sometimes I guess.
yeah. I mean, Shade and I were friends because Shade was friends. Shade and Tunde were friends with Kunlo when it was before I came into the picture. So yeah, so in that case, we became friends in that angle. But yeah.
Mrs. AK, can you see what they put on the
I
thing?
saw what
Mrs. AK is
Mrs.
the
Oluloyo has
troublemaker
said
in this
about
group.
me.
She has been sending me text messages. God forgive her. That's all I have to say.
And I don't think she was here at the beginning, though, because I think I would have
No,
said the same thing. So,
She has been texting me naughty things since.
Lide.
It's okay. I own it. I'm good with it. It's okay. But you see, guess what? As we were saying, my friends know me, so they know.
okay, one last question. Again, if your friendship were a book, what will the title be and why?
Hmm.
Oh, that's a question from that
This
last
is the
question.
type of question you should have
Oh,
given us
sorry,
before we
before
came
you
here.
do that, there's a question that just came in. Can you live a long lasting friendship because your husband doesn't like the husband
Because
doesn't
the
like you?
husband doesn't like you. Can you
It's,
leave?
Oh, leave a long-standing friendship
Yeah.
because the husband doesn't like you.
can
Or
you walk away from the
so so for instance,
um
Wale doesn't like me, so I have to leave to my friendship
yeah.
and Tanika has to end. Hmm.
Yeah.
Ah, I
Hmm.
mm. I personally.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So if um Bolaji doesn't like so I think the question is, are they asking you to leave it's different if my
Yeah.
husband says you cannot be friends with Dele because I don't like her. That's a different situation from me deciding I won't be friends with Dele because Wale doesn't like her.
I think that's the question she's asking. That if the husband
No, she's
says,
saying
I
you
don't,
feel the husband doesn't like. Okay, so I feel that Bolaji doesn't like that.
where
I
do
don't
you
care
see
now.
Phil? She didn't put Phil.
No, she's written
Again,
something
I
now. You
feel the
Oh,
feel that
husband
the
doesn't
husband
like
doesn't like you.
you.
Taking a
oh, okay.
real
Okay.
life
Okay.
example. So I have a friend whose husband the friend offended the husband.
Yeah.
And
Hmm?
so the husband kind of expects his wife not to be friends. He fully expects it.
Okay.
And anytime she goes out with her friend, and he comes back, sometimes you come back from an outing and you want to dialogue with, she can't do that because she knows fully that her husband is not on the same page. But she's still friends. The level of
Okay.
friendship changed.
Okay.
The depth of the friendship changed, but they're still friends. In fact, she's going to go on one.
But the friend offended her husband.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, she did. It wasn't. It didn't. It wasn't meant to be offensive, but it was offensive.
The
So
husband okay.
the husband, yeah, took offense, and
Okay.
so he fully doesn't expect. If his wife came back and said, "I'm no longer friends," he'd be very happy.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. But,
But she,
So,
but she can put out her friendship as long as she doesn't bring it around him.
yes.
Okay.
but you guys haven't answered the question.
I
So
mean, for me, I think it really depends on the situation and what's going on. I don't think, okay, so to give an example of, I think that there's a certain level of the relationship might have to change just because,
I think
so I think that definitely the relationship might have to change. I don't think that I would leave the friendship. I don't think so. But I'm assuming by this that the person knows that my husband is not, we may have a conversation about it that this is the case, but so I don't think I would leave, but I would certainly address it in a hope of repairing it, and if not, certainly addressing it so that we know how we're going to rearrange it. But I don't think that I would just leave. I mean, but it also depends on if the friend became my friend last week, or if they've been my friends for 40 years, or if you know what I mean. So it would depend on many different things and many moving parts. But just to
Okay.
answer the question like that, I don't think so. But it would depend on many different
You
things.
depend on many things. Yeah.
I
I
just say
agree.
don't brush it under the carpet. To have the conversation. I think
Yeah.
that's what have the conversation. If there's still like disagreement, just agree that I can still be friends, but you know, I won't bring it here. I won't bring it home. You know, she's
Yeah.
not going to be on our Christmas list, for example. You know, I'm happy to go out and meet her. Yeah, because you know, just bringing that home will offend you. So, you know, but to ask me to leave a friendship, I'll just limit it to me. You know, it doesn't have to be like a family. But I don't think I'll. I don't think I'll leave.
I can't relate.
Liar.
That's hilarious.
Okay, ladies. Let's go back to the last
Oh,
question. If your friendship was a book,
Okay.
what will the title be and why?
Hmm.
mm, mm.
So we've got
Yeah, that
the name of the WhatsApp, 4Gs. Can you
4G.
anybody remember what the 4Gs are?
Oh,
gorgeous, glowing, godly
Gorgeous,
girl.
glowing, godly girls.
Godly girls. Yes.
a book.
A book, a book.
Can we?
Hmm.
We can make a book title. Are you saying we should find a book that already exists?
No, I
No,
think she
no,
said
no.
we
Let's
should
put
make
our
up a title.
title.
Oh, make up a
This,
Okay.
title.
you should have sent us this question in advance so I
Honestly,
could really give you juicy
what's up with
response.
me?
Mrs. AK, next when we have the part two, I'm going to exclude you
That's fine.
because
I'm sure you'll have
seriously,
me as the host. I'll be the one hosting it, Abby.
no, definitely not.
It's okay because there's not enough space for all of us
No.
on here anyway. So I'm okay. I will stand back. I will just be
Um,
in the comments. You people will know.
Okay, so you guys,
If
people who are online, please give them the title for this
Please give us
book.
the title of a book. I can't think of one.
Mr. Yobami, please give them a title. Let's
a
see who's
title.
going to come up with the best title for this book
Where
that they're
where
going
oh,
to write about their friendship.
what would it be? I want it to reflect giving back or learning or
there has to be a funky title, though. We cannot have
Hmm.
giving back. Or
remember use the word reflect.
Says she wants it to
No
reflect.
expectations.
Hmm.
No, okay.
Okay.
Journeying
It's
with you,
they're
Destiny
not
Girls.
look.
Hmm.
Destiny girl.
Destiny
Joining
girls.
with you, Destiny
Journeying with you.
Girls, rocking
Mm.
friendships,
Okay.
ladies of
Rocks, very
Judgment
substance.
substance.
season.
Hmm.
Ladies
Um,
of
Every
substance.
day is a new
Every day's a
dawn.
new time. Ayoba me.
Hmm.
Hmm. Okay.
That's a very Christian title, please. Can we have a
Every day is a new.
secular title?
said about this.
Lola is
Don't give me
don't give
unnecessary
me
headache.
unnecessary headache. Yes.
I like that. I actually like that.
Friendship
Friendship
without
without boundaries.
boundaries.
I like that. Yes.
Oh,
Four
4 seasons
seasons.
of
Oh,
us,
I
a
like
story of
it.
friendship. I
Four
like that.
seasons of
That's
us.
lovely. Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
four
that is
seasons of
so
us.
That's a
lovely.
really good one.
That's a
Hard
good
girl.
one.
Hard girl. And who
I
is
just
that? Night get away. Who is hide? Hard here.
I love
Everywhere.
that. I love that. I love that.
Hey,
Sister,
Hard
sister
Sister
girls.
to
to
two.
speak the truth.
Yeah.
give me,
Okay, it looks like Chinwe has won with 4 seasons of love.
What is
Four
of
seasons.
yes, I
Yeah,
like
that
that
four
one.
4 seasons
seasons
of
Definitely.
us,
is.
a story of friendship.
with
I
strong
Yes.
love that
content.
four seasons. I
Rocking
love that. I
Okay,
really
sisterhood.
Definitely.
love.
Rocking sisterhood.
don't give me
Yes.
if you can blend 4 seasons and don't give me unnecessary headache, I think that would be the
I
perfect.
like that. Don't give me on. Maybe that will be the
That'll be the
tagline. Four
blog. Yeah,
seasons
that'll
of
be the
us. Don't
tagline.
give me.
Exactly. Yes.
Oh my word! Wow. It- Thank you so much. What are friends for, if not for inconveniences?
Ooh.
Who is
Love the
that?
forces. Okay,
Whatever.
And I
that's
think I love it.
forces of
Not
love.
love. 4 seasons of us.
Four
Life
seasons of
according to
us.
DG.
Four
Four
seasons of
seasons of
us.
us. Not four
Of
seasons of
us,
love.
of us,
Yeah, four
us.
seasons of us. The
Mm.
story of friendship. And then the
Yeah, I
tagline will
like that
be
four
don't be.
seasons. Yeah, I really love it. I love that.
Was that Lola did
Okay,
okay?
ladies. Wow.
I like no, you have definitely the last one has to come in somewhere, definitely. I like that.
Yeah, I
But I
love
don't like
that too.
Don't
unnecessary
give me
headache at all.
unnecessary headache. Yeah, we have to find a way of combining the two. Or maybe the first chapter can be don't give me unnecessary headache.
Hmm?
Yeah,
Yeah.
great. Okay, poor
Okay.
girl. Oh,
Well,
thanks, bro.
we have to go now. But it's been amazing. I think we're definitely going to have a part two, so that at least the other two can come, and then maybe also invite someone from um Wanu and
from
Dele's
Wanu's, yeah.
friendship group.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how we're going to accommodate everyone, but we'll try. We'll try to.
Name without me. I'm so upset. But it's okay, I'll let it go.
Wanu, we haven't told them about our own friendship group. They don't know we have our own group.
Oh yeah.
Which group is that? Why don't I know about it?
It's called the Soft Life.
The
Oh,
soft life.
I'm
Okay.
all for that. Please add me on.
Okay, ladies, thank you so much. This has been amazing. I enjoyed it, thoroughly enjoyed it. And thank you, Dele. Adopted one noon. I'm so glad you came on one. Thank you so much. You're all you're all shades of amazing, sweetheart. Thank you so much. And that other one, to my left on the screen. Well, you know I love you.
Oh my God.
Mrs. AP, rocking your gorgeous. Thank you so much for all
Thank you
that
for
you do.
having me.
Thank you for having
It's a
us.
pleasure to be here. No, Mio,
Thank
because it's really only me that she has excluded from this list. So thank you for having me.
You were not excluded. You felt
thank
The,
you.
the,
excluded, but you were not excluded.
I'll share them.
You all
you
been
over
like
there on the left.
this. You all been all shades of amazing. I
Yeah, that's
love you all. Love you, love you, love you, love you.
Thank you,
And for
thank you,
everyone
thank you.
who's
Have
Thank
a
you,
lovely
joined us,
everyone.
afternoon.
everyone who's joined
Thank
us,
you.
thank you for being so engaging. Love you all.
Yeah.
Thank you. See you again soon. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.